2 Samuel chapter 5. Then all the tribes of Israel came to David in Hebron and said, Look, we are your own flesh and blood. In the past, while Saul was king over us, you were the one who led Israel out and brought them back. And the Lord said to you, You will shepherd my people Israel, and you will become their ruler. So all the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, and King David made a covenant with them there before the Lord. They anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old when he became king, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron, he reigned over Judah for 7 years and 6 months, and in Jerusalem, he reigned over all Israel and Judah for 33 years. The king and his men marched to Jerusalem to fight against the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land, who said to David, You will not get in here. Even the blind and the lame can ward you off. They thought, David cannot get in here. Yet David captured the fortress of Zion, which is now called the City of David. On that day David said, Whoever conquers the Jebusites must reach the water shaft to attack the lame and blind who are David's enemies. That is why they say, The blind and lame will never enter the palace. David then took up residence in the fortress, which he called the City of David. He built it up from the supporting terraces inward. David became more and more powerful, and the Lord God Almighty was with him. Hiram king of Tyre sent envoys to David, along with cedar logs and carpenters and stonemasons, and they built a palace for David. David realized that the Lord had established him as king over Israel, and had exalted his kingdom for the sake of his people Israel. After he left Hebron, David took more concubines and wives from Jerusalem, and more sons and daughters were born to him. These are the names of the children born to him in Jerusalem: Shammua, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon, Ibhar, Elishua, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, Eliphelet. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over Israel, they all went up to search for him. But David heard about it and went down to the stronghold. The Philistines arrived and spread out in the Valley of Rephaim. David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I go up against the Philistines? Will you deliver them into my hand? The Lord said to David, Go up, for I will certainly deliver the Philistines into your hand. So David went to Baal Perazim, and he defeated them there. He said, The Lord has burst through my enemies before me like a bursting flood. That is why he named that place Baal Perazim. The Philistines left their idols there, and David and his men carried them away. Once again, the Philistines spread out in the Valley of Rephaim. David inquired of the Lord, and he answered, Do not go straight up, but circle around behind them and attack them in front of the balsam trees. As soon as you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, move out to battle, because that will mean God has gone out in front of you to strike the Philistine army. So David did as the Lord commanded him, and he struck down the Philistines all the way from Gibeon to Gezer.